What's up? Welcome back. I should probably explain to you how I ended up in this situation. We'll start from the beginning. It all started when I was trying to work in my garage one night, and the frustrating moment came where I tried to plug something in. And wouldn't you know it, the plug doesn't fit in the outlet. Now I have to go find an adapter. Found the adapter, plugged it in. Wouldn't you know, the adapter falls right out of the outlet. Play with the adapter and outlet, flip it around every which way, try and get the cord to dangle there. You know the game. So I decided I wanted to rewire my garage. I wanted to put in 3-prong receptacles. And that's exactly what I did. And everything was going great until I realized that the line feeding my garage was only 20 amps. 20 amps is not enough to run all of the equipment I want to run. This is where the can of worms begins to be opened. The current wiring comes out of the house, runs underneath the deck, and over to the garage. All fine, no problems there. The issue is the conduit in which the wiring is ran is too small to fit any larger of a wire than is already in it. Thus, I have to find a new way to get wiring from the breaker box in the basement to the breaker box in the garage. Luckily, the previous owners have already wired up a 50 amp service for a hot tub. A hot tub that's no longer here. I'm not interested in a hot tub, so I'm going to go ahead and use that circuit. That was the easy part, figuring out which circuit or how I'm getting wired outside. The hard part and how we ended up in this exact situation was getting the wiring from the outside breaker underground over to the garage. The only way I could do that was to remove this deck. With the deck removed, it was the fun process of running the conduit and the wire underground from the breaker into the garage, into the other breaker panel. Now this wire is a whole lot bigger than the other wiring. So once we enter the inside of the garage and the breaker panel, it is quite the pain to maneuver it around. Maybe now is a good time to mention that the lengths of the cord come in 25 feet or 50 feet, and I needed about 30 feet. So I could not wait to get this cord cut down to about 30 feet once I got inside. That way I didn't have to wrestle with the rest of the cord. Once it was cut down to about the right length though, then it's just as easy as hooking up any others. Albeit the wire's a little thicker, a little harder to manage, but it's just the same as any other. Strip the sheathing, strip it some more, maybe one more time, and then you just have to land them all on the specific breaker they go on. All right, I'm gonna have to do a voiceover on this one. I've not done a very good job of explaining to you what I'm doing, but I've officially got 50 amp service run all the way from the breaker in the basement over here, and we've got 220 in the shop. Actually, 240, 250. It's reading 250 down in the basement, 240-ish up here. So we've got plenty of power. I couldn't be more excited. Everything went off without a hitch. There were a couple hiccups here and there. I'll explain them in the voiceover if you haven't already. This will probably be after the fact, but I'm super stoked with how this turned out. Now I just have to figure out what I'm gonna do outside to completely revamp the deck that I just tore out. So I don't really want to put a deck back in. I'm thinking some sort of patio paver or cement, but I'll have to figure out exactly what I want to do going forward. I'm just happy that my electrical wiring is done and I've got enough wiring to wire up my mini split. That should be here Tuesday or Wednesday. Pretty excited about that. Then all I have to do is figure out what I'm gonna do with the ceiling and getting that insulated. I should probably special order, since they make me special order. Let's see if I can get this to you. So these roof rafter trusses, whatever they're called here, I'm missing one right above me here. So I need to put that back, and then that'll allow me to run the plywood. I also need to figure out what kind of plywood I want to use. I'm thinking 1/2 inch BCX maybe, and then I'll just paint it. I've got a lot of decisions to make, but this one's probably gonna be a pretty short one, just a lot of time lapse. I'll do my best to voice over what I did because, like I said, it was also early morning when I started this one. I wanted to get it done and out of the way before the heat of the day. Super stoked. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was not entirely planned, it just kind of had to happen due to what happened once we opened up all of the receptacles in here. It was just kind of force of hand. But it's done now. Put everything back together, go back inside, watch Cleater and Squirrel go race some ARCA, so pretty excited. I think that's all I got for you guys, so if you like this, go ahead and drop a like, leave a comment if you see something that I should have done differently or something that maybe I could do better. And as always, if you're liking everything here, go ahead and click that subscribe button. It really does help the channel out. And I'll see you in the next one.